Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent his messengers in the name of whatever you have had, is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become messiahs, to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion. That is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness, by giving, will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to demand you possess. Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand, to be there, to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle, which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 409th One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace. Here on Tuesday, December 16th, 2025. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute, Education Department, and part of the Public Teachings in English. My name's Rick Kremen, and I'll be host once again in this weekly series of ongoing workshops, and continuous now for the last 408 workshops. And we have been with members and support members of the Universal Council, who are also here today to present the program. So without further ado, let's get into the gist of the matter, and we'll open up the workshop here. Just 1 second. Here we go.
Yes, thank you, Rick, and thank each and every one of you for being here. And we welcome you to the One Planet, One Nation, One Race for world peace. And of course, we're creating the conditions in the energy dimension first. This is part of the work of the Universal Council to work in that energy dimension. As we know, the energy must come first before we see a manifestation in the matter state. And of course, we're unifying ununified nations, let's say, and we have about 200 or so, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. So we're unifying these ununified nations in this sort of work we're doing here. And we're also unifying the physicality and the soul of physicality and the soul of the man, and of course, the soul of this planet as well. But in addition to that unification, we're also unifying humanity with the universal community. Even though we've always been part of it, this is a further unification in a way that will begin to explore and understand the universe more in the process of creation. And of course, we're helped, we're not alone in this process. We're helped with many enhancements, as we've heard from Mr. Keshe, and some of the descriptions that we've heard from the 3I, which is a huge enhancement to the sun, to the One Nation network, to the game of enlightenment. So we're introducing new fields to elevate all souls to a permanent, peaceful position. And at the same time, we're teaching ourselves to be perfect in all dimensions as we are chosen to be. I remember Mr. Keshe indicating that we all, the whole creation is chosen to be perfect. And so you're welcome to join together in this process of elevation of the others and yourself. We just need to become more peaceful, or to become peaceful. So support us with these units called the One Nation Network as we together change the soul of the man. And we welcome you in this process. And of course, this is the World Peace Treaty, which is part of the enlightenment in a way, where we sort of realize that maybe we're not as peaceful as we thought we were. And this is an agreement between you and your soul to operate moving closer to the creator with less destruction and less killing, as Mr. Keshe indicated, I think in the 617, that the numbers are just unimaginable of how much we've killed one another as men. And we're not even talking the other beauties of the creation that we've taken along the way. And I was thinking about this World Peace Treaty, and again, it's thinking, speaking, and acting good in a way. And I think this is I don't think our physical work offends so much, as that's not as active as our brain is with the thinking and the speaking part. And of course, you can kill with the speaking, and you can also kill with the thinking as well. I remember in the holy books, if you think it, you have as much as committed it. So we're trying to get this area of the gift of the three wise men into sort of alignment with the process of the universe. And this is the World Peace Treaty, which is an actual document or a reactor you can sort of sign and set up. Again, you'll never find any pens in space that you can draw with or that you can write with. So this is agreement between you and your soul to become more peaceful. And of course, we realize as we go deeper into the teachings, we're not as peaceful as we thought we were, but perhaps making the wish of moving in that direction or moving closer to the Creator is part of this whole understanding, as we do understand that the universe is quite a peaceful place, and those who offend are not allowed to really operate in that dimension fully. Even though you may be there, you may not be able to interact. So we're learning quite a bit about ourselves, about peace, and moving into this direction. And the agreement is between you and your soul, and it's for you to sort of take it up, consider it, apply it, and then elevate the others in the same manner. So I think that's all I want to say about this. You can find the World Peace Treaty. This is what the world leaders will sign. And of course, Mr. Keshe has put forward, it's you pledge your nation to peace in exchange for advanced space technology. And we've certainly seen some of this advanced technology demonstrated in the public. More will come, and hopefully the world leaders, as we continue to use our energy dimension to sort of elevate them into that permanent peaceful position, we can all take part in this and in a way be part of the change. So again, it's between you and your soul. You make those decisions. No one's going to force it upon you. But again, the universe becomes the oyster for those souls who serve the others. If anyone else would like to say anything about the World Peace Treaty, and again, it seems a far reach from where we are today, but as we know, we're looking for the beginning of the change, which I think has already taken place, and we'll see more and more of these outcomes manifesting themselves, little in the beginning, but it will grow and grow as all of these systems start to coordinate in this greater work of the universe to bring this planet into, in a way, a more active and to be part of the universal community. Even though we are part of the universal community, we certainly haven't had that behavior, and this is what's sort of kept us out in the garden or separated. So we're coming into this point now, and as we've heard, this is quite a monumental time in world history, as every 30 centuries, this 3I, this little bus, seems to come by and does some fertilization or elevation of the entire structure on this planet. So now that we're aware of it, we're looking forward to the changes that the 3I and many of the other enhancements that are in place in the background we may not understand fully are beginning to be activated and to bring about what's been promised in the holy books. If anyone else wants to say anything about world peace, of course, we all talk it. This is what we want, but we always seem to go in the opposite direction. But this time, the change will be permanent. And again, it may not be a switch overnight, but little by little, gradually and collectively, we're all going to be subject to the new fields and the new soul, as we heard. Happy birthday to all of our souls with the creation of the Child of Mitra, which is this collection of new, in a way, enhance the soul. So thank you. And otherwise, if no one has anything else to say, we can go to the next slide.
Okay, here I have an excerpt from the Knowledge Seekers Workshop to play about the graphics from the last 620th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. I will play that now.
I just received the pictures of the birth of Mitra. And those of you who are familiar with our work, you will understand what this means. Let me just ask you. Just wait. Okay. We can share this video with 100% correctness. You see many times what we call these graphs with us. I have to go, you might hear a little bit of deep up, but just wait, please. I have to go here, go back. Okay, this is what you had with the solar meter. Now the question is, was she there, the daughter of Mitra? This is the answer to those of you who were there. And I share it with you. It might give you an insight to what you've done. This is from a live video of that session. I've never seen it, I've just seen it now. And this, have a look. Just have a look. Usually with these systems, with these graphs, we get like this, and we get like this, and we come into the physical side. Interesting, very interesting. You lot must have a lot of fun that day. This is the graph. This is the physicality, the soul of physicality and the soul. You lot had a direct line of connection with the soul side. Very amazing. Never seen this before. And you see that row next to it that you can see it. It must have been with you, and I hope you enjoyed the trip. What is interesting is you see on the physical side a lot of activities, but on the soul side you see very direct line. As far a distance from the line of the soul to the physicality is in a dimension of the energy only. The further back it goes on the right side. So you're all been connected, and you see this interesting point is this here.
Okay, that's our excerpt of the graphics of the Mithra's Daughters event, which was back in December 6th. And that was the description from Mr. Keshe was from the 620th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. Okay, back to our program. And next we have what's called the wishes. And I'll remind our audience, we'll have a full minute after each wish of silence in order to contemplate and implement the wish. Okay, let me see. I think we begin with Shweta.
Thank you, my dear Rick. Beautiful wishes, my dear beautiful souls. We, The Universal Council elevate all souls in existence to be one soul of peace, now, forever. Our wish is our command. We are present.
We, the Universal Council, elevate the soul of the leaders and the soul of the universal visitors to understand the transmutation of the souls, while humanity learns from the visitors their use of plasma cosmic ray technology, providing mutual benefits and satisfaction to all of us.
We, the Universal Council, wish for a spark of unity to spread through the world for the remainder of 2025, resulting in lasting peace worldwide.
We, the Universal Council, give from our field strengths, empower the world leaders to negotiate and sign the World Peace Treaty, pledging their nations to a permanent and everlasting peace on this planet.
We, the Universal Council, wish for financial support all work for the Keshe Foundation and Mehran Corporation to be distributed accordingly as one planet, one nation, one race. Our wish is our command.
We elevate the souls of all members in the past, present, and future of the Universal Council as one soul, as part of the totality of the knowledge of creation. These are our wishes, and our wishes we command.
We, the Universal Council, give through our souls to all souls in existence to elevate in level of understanding the ethos of Mitra, universal love, living life as a peaceful being, respecting all life and living equal. Our wish is our command. We are present.
Our next part is the connection between souls with Marinez, followed by the soul connection also with Marinez.
Hello, good afternoon. It's Mehran's Universal Council supporter of Farsi language. So that's what Mr. Keshe said about how you make yourself feel better. I love you, my soul. I live you and I love with you and I adore you. I've also heard another version of this thing, which was, I love you, my soul. I love to live with you, and I adore you. So I wish that all of us adore our souls, can adore our souls, and get acquainted with our souls, which is our real us, which is the part which stays forever with us, in what form, what shape, what size. And it says, see what the soul will give you back. So we are going to do soul connection. That's a practice. We stick to it, and we think that's how we can attribute to peace on earth by the force of our souls and our emotions for a peaceful and joyful life for humanity. So what we do, we just do nothing. We sit or we just open a parenthesis in our routine daily life and just let go of our emotion and our soul and attach our souls to other friends who are in the same ethos with us, to all people in the whole world with any belief, which are the soul, which are the peaceful souls. And we attach with all the beings which want good for humanity at this moment. And we try to feel them and to sense the connection. And when we sense the connection, we sense that there are fields around us, people around us, and we are all together in one soul gathering. Then we extend our souls towards one wish of peace for humanity, wish of going to universal community for travel, for vacation, for sightseeing, all together, all the humanity, not just the rich, not just the politics and finance and religious leaders, but all the humanity to have access to the knowledge of how to be a man of the space. And for those who want to do something on Earth, we use technology of Keshe Foundation, and the governments use the technology of Keshe Foundation on Earth. And with all that, we achieve peace, equality, prosperity, happiness, health, and wealth for man. So there is a beautiful, sunny future which is in front of us. And we hope this year, this month, would be a glimpse of what is waiting for us in future. And we put our intention to open the doors to the Keshe Foundation technology for all, without exception, without any special religion, category, race, and all of humanity in brotherhood and peace. And we contemplate this peace and this prosperity just for a while. And then we ask all other forces, all other beings who want to help us to welcome and do what they can, what they want for us to reach these goals all together. This is our collective wish, and our wish is our command. So when we assume this beautiful wish, we go to another stage, which is invitation. And we, the Universal Council, invite the Keshe and Universal family present at the earth to unify at the soul level every time, every day at 9 PM CET and every 3 hours, to give through our souls to all souls in existence, to elevate in level of understanding the ethos of Mitra universal love, living life as a peaceful being, respecting all life and living equally.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you, Mehran. Beautiful.
Thanks.
And beautiful souls, we invite you to connect with a member of the Universal Council and Universal Council support to send us your question to be answered live each week and or the needs of your community as everything is updating or becoming the new. Also, the Universal Council page is also updating in a new format, and that it will be very easy to email and connect with the Universal Council and Universal Council support. And I will say that in the meantime, we have our Keshe Foundation telegrams in several languages. You can contact, you can ask questions, as we are all learning, all knowledge seekers. You can ask, you can interact, we can interact with each other in these telegram groups. Have your message, have your share of love, dear beautiful souls. And whatever you want to say the personality you are, the soul you are. Well, thank you for being here always. Welcome to Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute Organization. Welcome. Salam, namaste. Salut.
Is there
Yes,
any
please.
way how they can contact us?
Yes, Manas, can you repeat?
Yeah, how they could contact us other than the chats. Is there an address like info@keshe.foundation or anywhere
Yes,
specified to contact UC?
yes. But that is info at is about contacting uh, all all the projection of organization of Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute organization. But specifying if UC and UC support, then we can have for now, um, you will be the email to the universe, because there is a Universal Council projection page. They can directly contact the Universal Council, and it is very easy if they contact in the Telegram group, in their language groups in Keshe Foundation. That will be more easy for them. And if they send in the info at, then it will go to the Universal Council, as the web page is already updating. So maybe it can't reach now, but in the Telegram group they can come straight to the Universal Council and Universal Council support members. Mehran, that will be more easy for now in this time span, as everything is transmuting.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much.
Alex, little words. At the same time, invite when you asked to your soul about the stand for you give more service with the community, please do write at the Keshe Foundation or find at the web page for you be part of the Universal Council. Like Mr. Kes invite us on the video and share now, share now, and thank you so much for being part of that of the universal community. Thank you.
Yes, I'll share the video now with the how to become a Universal Council member. It's an extract from the 576 Knowledge Seekers workshop with Mr. Keshe from back in February of this year. Okay, here we go.
There's something which I should have made an announcement. As we are structuring in a new development of Keshe Foundation, this worldwide application and implication, as we set up the structure for Universal Council, a number of Universal Council members have become old and they reach the age of 60, and they served during the 60 years. They are there till 61. To run the functionality of the operation of the what we call energy dimension, the Universal Council members, if you want to become, please consider and let your soul decide of any languages around the world, as these will be announced very soon internationally, and we expect the souls to serve. And if it's from the knowledge seekers who understand the technology with dimension of the soul, you can apply to be added to and become a member of the Universal Council. The Earth Council is appointed by the Keshe Foundation. on the grounds of true structure of the nationality. Understanding the culture, that there is no prejudice by physical dimension of the borders. And so if you feel your soul is there to serve humanity in expansion and the growth of it, just apply for it at the Keshe Foundation, or send the email to info@keshe.foundation, say I would like to be a member of the Universal Council. We receive this regularly, and now we're going to expand this very rapidly due to what is to come and what is to be done. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my dear Rick. I also want to add, and I welcome, beautiful souls to join the Universal Council, and from all over the world. With open heart, we call all of you with love, all the love. So we join the Universal Council, and we know now it is the most needed time span, I would say, to serve humanity. So thank you. Welcome to join the Universal Council. Welcome.
Okay, next we have two excerpts in the following video about Mitra. It's from the 462nd and the 360th Knowing Seekers workshops. And this won't be a video, actually. It'll be just the slide that we see, but we'll hear the sound of the videos in the background. And so we'll have this still slide. It's about 24 minutes. And just to let people know, there's no active video playing. We'll just be looking at the slide. Okay. I think we can begin that now.
So the love that we have here, it doesn't exist there. So the love we consider, but the love we consider here love. What's gonna be the shape of it? What does love mean?
Love means to give. You give life. You create life. This is why Mitra fell in love with Earth. The physical chemical combination of this planet creates a field which gives pleasure to give. You call it love. And this is not, it's just like certain materials don't exist on this planet, and our science said exotic materials which are in the universe, because we don't have the condition of it to be created. Our atmosphere, our gravity does not allow creation of certain materials on this planet. So is love. The condition and the fields of this planet creates a field which we call it love, which means unconditional giving, which is one of the attributes of the Creator. Now you understand why Mitra fell in love with Earth. And one of the purposes why the Creator and Mitra have taken home on this planet is to nourish this across the universe, that every being in the universe just don't produce but understand the love. When you go somewhere, you see something unique, you take it with you to show the others the uniqueness of this beautiful thing. And Mitra saw the love. This is the only reason she ever attached herself to this planet. Because with it, she could show to the Creator what it means. Mankind has not understood. And you say, why suddenly so much knowledge and development and sharing and enhancing the soul of the man? You are lucky people as human race. In this planet, when this condition creates a specific field which mankind calls love. unconditional giving. When you fall in love, you go hungry, your mind and thoughts cannot do anything just not to be with your lover. And that's how Mitra felt about the Creator and found the match on earth. And now, evolution, development of the soul of the man is to export this across the universe. That's why we are gifted with the knowledge. Now you turn and twist it. How are you going to be? You have the essence of the fields of this planet. Does not matter where you go. This is the job of your soul. You are messengers of love, unconditional giving. So, be it by sex, be it by flower, be it by drugs, be it by giving a sweetie every time you make love for the next one to create another child. In a way, creating a child with that sweetie, God didn't do it for you. He did it for himself to create more, that he can have more dimensions of the love to be spread in the universe and the universe. And as I told you, in the future, mankind will come to understand part of the bigger unicos which our Creator is part of. And the Creator of our unicos is known as a possessor of love. And that's its functions in the totality of the creation of the creators. Many of you have celebrated 25th during your life, as is the way you've been told. But in fact, the true Christmas, the true birthday of Christ, still some 200 odd years ago, was celebrated on 21st. And about 200 years ago, Vatican decided to shift it to 24th due to one reason, and that was to make more separation that Christianity is not replication of Mitraism, as they tried to separate the church and what we call Roman Empire, the end of the call. 21st of December, what we call in Farsi the Shab of Yalda, which means the longest night, and is considered to be the birthday of Mitra, some 8,000 years ago. And on the other hand, as we said always, the soul of the man is the light, what we see. And Yalda in Farsi means the light, the shine, the brightness of the light, which was the sign of Mitra. Mitra was the soul, and shine the same. And as Christianity as we know it today was adoption of the old Mitraism, so the birth of Christ was put on the same day as birth of Mitra, as his son, or I should say as her son. This is what gradually over centuries Vatican and the churches washed away for the present Christianity to be on its own. But if you open the books, 21st of December, the longest night, the birthday of Mitra was celebrated as the birthday of Christ too. This is how the Romans wanted it to be, that everyone celebrated their time as they were Mitraism supporters. In so many ways, when we look the truth in the background of what we call Christianity is the teaching of Mitra, the cycle of the beginning and the cycle of where man understood more about his soul and called it the light, the celebration of light. In Jewish religion, we've seen it a couple of weeks earlier in the same thing but different name about the same time, Hanukkah. This is how they all copied one way, and that was the path to believing in the Creator. In so many ways, as what we know today was used to be the Persian Empire, extended to Palestine. So now you understand how Judaism is part and in a copy of what it is Mithraism, and the night, the times, and many things replicate within it. In so many ways, they always carry the light. The candle, they light a candle. You make it the Star of David. And everything else has come to one thing: for man to become alert and to know his soul, the light, the ultimate process of existence. In so many ways, mankind has always been told about his soul, even by Mitra, some 8,000–10,000 years ago. And if you look deep enough, the Jews speak about 6,000 years or about history, where in fact there are 2,000 years copy of what Mitra brought, and they could translate it to their language. In understanding this, it means those who were, those who understood the truth about the creation, even when we brought in the faith of Zoroaster, they kept a fire going in a physical way, in temples, in Mabat, and what we call the house of fire, the room of fire. And that was man interpreting the soul of himself as a fire, as a light, into physicality of keeping a light, that it always shines. Many of you, I'm sure, who've been into Zoroastrian temples, been to the room of light, the room of light, the room of fire, where fire has been kept on for thousands of years in the same room. It has a different effect when you go into the room of what they call fire. It brings and enlightens the soul of the man, as that fire was set to enlighten the soul. And in so many ways, as the last hundreds of few thousand temples are left within the India and Iranian border, with the believers of Zoroaster, the light with the room of fire, mankind has come to understand. We always knew about it. We were told about it, and has never understood at that time we made the symbol of it. In so many ways, the room of fire, the room of light, when you walk in it, as I've done many, many times in my young age, brings you an enlightenment to think, if this fire has been burning in this room, in this part, for thousands of years, or from one generation to another, what was the purpose of it? Maybe mankind for the first time understands. We've always been told our soul is a light, but we chose to ignore. We kept the fire to symbolize it. And in so many ways, as I was explaining to knowledge seekers in the past few days, in the tradition of the what we call present Persia, we never worshipped any statue. It's the only nation and culture which never took in worshipping false creation. Always believed in Mitra, and through Mithraism, we kept the ethos of the soul. Do good, act good, and think good. It does not matter what you do as a good, the others read by it. But at the end, the good, the truth will win, will succeed, as is the conduct of the soul, not conduct of the man. And in so many ways, we go back to one thing. Is the soul of the man in its infancy, at the point of creation, in the womb of the mother, to its completion as a star in the galaxies and the universes, carries the same ethos. And how does it shine? And the way it shines in the whole cycle of its creation, from its birth to its completion. And in so many ways, mankind in a very short time will come to the completion of one cycle and the beginning of the other, where the soul of the man will elevate to understand the totality of the knowledge through what has been given as a gift to man and his soul at the point of inception. Not inception in the womb of the mother, but inception in the realm of the Creator, in the Unicos. maybe some of the knowledge seekers find a key and find answer in the totality of what they've been asking and searching for thousands of years, in the path and the way to the Creator through the work of the creation and the created soul of the man. Maybe some of the knowledge seekers one day elevate their own soul to have access to the totality of the knowledge of the Creator, to understanding the true meaning of the operation of the soul of man, to be humble. In so many ways, in Christianity and many religions, speak about reincarnation, speak about return of Christ, speak about Mahdi and the rest, in a way that return is return of Mitra, is return to totality and the birth of a new cycle. And that point comes at the point of maturity of the man to understand the totality as much as possible through his own physical understanding. And that cycle, the return of Mitra, in a way the return of the truth for the new cycle to begin, is about to happen. And this is what the humanity and the rest of the universe have been waiting for. Beginning, establishment of world peace, universal peace, and understanding peace comes of do good, act good, and speak good. And in so many ways, mankind is about to mature to that point in totality and in one sweep, that all the souls of the created, of the creation, will elevate to be equal and the same, that there shall be no king and no one to rule above, as all live the same way as the light of Mitra. In so many ways, we give up happy birthday to Mitra, as the old tradition of Iran is, we set the table on 21st to celebrate her birthday. And then we celebrate the beginning of the new year, the beginning of this new cycle, which is the 12th day of Christmas, which used to fall on the 1st of January. And that's how many Christians started the beginning of January as a cycle of new life, where we celebrated 12 days and then we started the new year. And that tradition now has come from the 25th to 12 days of Christmas and the rest of it, and the three wise men of Iran and Persia. In so many understanding, man should understand why 12 days was chosen, as the 12 days, according to the structure of the universe, creates a complete cycle. What you do in 12 months, Mitra achieved in 12 days. And in so many ways, and in so many understanding, the completion of the cycle of the man comes about by understanding of the totality, about the truth, about the creation of the man. When Mitra brought the soul of the Creator within the realm of the understanding of the knowledge of the created man. In so many ways, awakening the soul of the man. And from that point on, we have seen the extension of the knowledge to the soul, and the soul of the man in a direct way. In so many ways, Mitra took the child of the man to her chest, and through the heart ruled the soul of the Creator, the child at the age of young, when the mother breastfeeds the child, to the soul of the child and the soul of the physicality of the child. Maybe that is why many of you for the first time understand why we hold our children to our heart when the mother breastfeeds, and why we keep them close to us as we blow the soul of the physicality and perfection of the soul of the man to the soul. We nourish both the soul and the physicality at the same time. No other creature does this except man, except those who understand and start the elevation of the growth of their soul and physicality. In so many ways, mankind feeds the two at the same time. We breastfeed from the dimension of physicality, and by holding the head of the child in the point of his soul, to our chest, we elevate the soul at the same time. Physicality is nourished, and then the soul. In so many ways, mankind has to learn the new ways and why we do things. And you'll find out by history of the man, by elevation and understanding of totality, why some children are calm, why some children are wise, why some children understand much easier. Go back and see how they were nourished when they were fed. How did the mother hold them to herself? How she transfers and at the same time nourishes the soul and the soul of physicality of the child at the point of the growth, at the point of establishment of life. In so many ways, mankind has always been so physical that has not understood and seen the truth. And now maybe, as we teach man, gradually mankind leads in the direction of understanding its own creation. Maybe one day, man become wise and truly wise to his own essence and true direction and dimension of creation. And Merry Christmas to all those who believe in the path of Mitra, in different names and by different banners over thousands of years. Change of the name did not change the ethos and the truth. In the past few weeks, as we teach more about the science of the understanding of the process of the travel and understanding of the dimension of this way the man will take into space, it is important for many of the knowledge seekers, as they are contemplating and moving away from matter state into the dimension of interaction of the fields, it is important for many of us to dig deeper in the truth, in understanding of the truth, and in being able to siphon the knowledge. In the past week, a lot has been achieved in the Keshe Foundation research centers. In a way, we have brought the knowledge, and as we learn the knowledge, we transfer this time to the soul of those who understand and will be the cause of the elevation of the man. We will not teach through what we call the mass teaching in the media, but we teach to those who their soul is ready to serve humanity. Many of you, without knowing, but work in the same path, will receive enlightenment, will understand the technology in a different way, and each one of you become messengers of knowledge for peace. In a way, from now on, we communicate through the soul of the man, for the man to elevate his knowledge, not on the screens and billboards and blackboards. In a way, that's why we tell you what is achieved, but we don't show you, as we enlighten the soul of those who are there to serve, to be enlightened by the knowledge. In a way, as we see in the lab, those who are sincere will get enlightened through the knowledge and the direction of the soul of the man. In so many ways, we have seen a number of knowledge seekers have in the past few weeks taken this path, and now they teach to others in a totally different new way the interaction of the fields. We do not promote no one. As we have seen, as we promote, we create the downfall of their ego and then the humbleness. In the process of the teaching, many Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers will come to be enlightened by the knowledge. The way we enlighten, as we said, as we teach the whole of universe. Now through the new understanding in the process, as we teach, Those men who are true men of peace will receive the message as the rest of the universe through their souls, not through the ears and understanding through the teaching by blackboards, as we call it. In so many ways, the knowledge is being transferred to knowledge seekers. The way we transfer to universal community, as they are not here to listen, they don't understand the voice of the man, but they understand the knowledge as it's transferred across the universe to them to be equal to the others. This way, many of you as knowledge seekers will find that you understand the technology totally in a new way, and you start teaching. Make no mistake, this is our knowledge, and the more you receive through your soul to teach, become more humble. Do not take it as a point of arrogance, as at the same time you'll be taken away from, and it'll be taken from you till you learn the way we work. As we said, the taller the tree, the more it bends downwards to the earth, the more humble it becomes. And this has to be the attitude of knowledge seekers. Many of the knowledge seekers will use these teachings as the process to understand the whole and the totality of it through their soul.
So the love that we have here, it doesn't exist.
Bear with me a minute. The video stopped for some reason. I have to reset it.
To symbolize it. And in so many ways, in Christianity and many religions, speak about reincarnation, speak about return of Christ, speak about Mehdi and the rest, in a way that return is return of Mitra, is a return to totality and the birth of a new cycle. And that point comes at the point of maturity of the man to understand the totality as much as possible through his own physical understanding. And that cycle, the return of Mitra, in a way the return of the truth for the new cycle to begin, is about to happen. And this is what the humanity and the rest of the universe have been waiting for. Beginning, establishment of world peace, universal peace, and understanding peace comes of do good, act good, and speak good. And in so many ways, mankind is about to mature to that point in totality and in one sweep, that all the souls of the created, of the creation, will elevate to be equal and the same, that there shall be no king and no one to rule above, as all live the same way as the light of Mitra. In so many ways, we give up happy birthday to Mitra, as the old tradition of Iran is, we set the table on 21st to celebrate her birthday. And then we celebrate the beginning of the new year, the beginning of this new cycle, which is the 12th day of Christmas, which used to fall on the 1st of January. And that's how many Christians started the beginning of January as a cycle of new life, where we celebrated 12 days and then we started the new year. And that tradition now has come from the 25th to 12 days of Christmas and the rest of it, and the three wise men of Iran and Persia. In so many understanding, man should understand why 12 days was chosen as the 12 days, according to the structure of the universe, creates a complete cycle. What you do in 12 months, Mitra achieved in 12 days. And in so many ways, and in so many understanding, the completion of the cycle of the man comes about by understanding of the totality about the truth about the creation of the man. When Mitra brought the soul of the Creator within the realm of the understanding of the knowledge of the created man. In so many ways, awakening the soul of the man. And from that point on, we have seen the extension of the knowledge to the soul and the soul of the man in a direct way. In so many ways, Mitra took the child of the man to her chest, and through the heart ruled the soul of the Creator, the child at the age of young, when the mother breastfeeds the child, to the soul of the child and the soul of the physicality of the child. Maybe that is why many of you for the first time understand why we hold our children to our heart when the mother breastfeeds, and why we keep them close to us as we blow the soul of the physicality and perfection of the soul of the man to the soul. We nourish both the soul and the physicality at the same time. No other creature does this except man. Except those who understand and start the elevation of the growth of their soul and physicality. In so many ways, mankind feeds the two at the same time. We breastfeed from the dimension of physicality, and by holding the head of the child in the point of his soul to our chest, we elevate the soul at the same time. Physicality is nourished, and then the soul. In so many ways, mankind has to learn the new ways and why we do things. And you'll find out by history of the man, by elevation and understanding of totality, why some children are calm, why some children are wise, why some children understand much easier. Go back and see how they were nourished when they were fed. How did the mother hold them to herself? How she transfers and at the same time nourishes the soul and the soul of physicality of the child at the point of the growth, at the point of establishment of life. In so many ways, mankind has always been so physical that has not understood and seen the truth. And now maybe, as we teach man, gradually mankind leads in the direction of understanding its own creation. Maybe one day, man become wise and truly wise to his own essence and true direction and dimension of creation. And Merry Christmas to all those who believe in the path of Mitra, in different names and by different banners over thousands of years. Change of the name did not change the ethos and the truth. In the past few weeks, as we teach more about the science of the understanding of the process of the travel and understanding of the dimension of this way the man will take into space, it is important for many of the knowledge seekers, as they are contemplating and moving away from matter state into the dimension of interaction of the fields, it is important for many of us to dig deeper in the truth, in understanding of the truth, and in being able to siphon the knowledge. In the past week, a lot has been achieved in the Keshe Foundation research centers. In a way, we have brought the knowledge, and as we learn the knowledge, we transfer this time to the soul of those who understand and will be the cause of the elevation of the man. We will not teach through what we call the mass teaching in the media, but we teach to those who their soul is ready to serve humanity. Many of you, without knowing, but work in the same path, will receive enlightenment, will understand the technology in a different way, and each one of you become messengers of knowledge for peace. In a way, from now on, we communicate through the soul of the man, for the man to elevate his knowledge, not on the screens and billboards and blackboards. In a way, that's why we tell you what is achieved, but we don't show you, as we enlighten the soul of those who are there to serve, to be enlightened by the knowledge. In a way, as we see in the lab, those who are sincere will get enlightened through the knowledge and the direction of the soul of the man. In so many ways, we have seen a number of knowledge seekers have in the past few weeks taken this path, and now they teach to others in a totally different new way the interaction of the fields. We do not promote no one. As we have seen, as we promote, we create the downfall of their ego and then the humbleness. In the process of the teaching, many Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers will come to be enlightened by the knowledge. The way we enlighten, as we said, as we teach the whole of universe. Now through the new understanding in the process, as we teach, those men who are true men of peace will receive the message as the rest of the universe through their souls, not through the ears and understanding through the teaching by blackboards, as we call it. In so many ways, the knowledge is being transferred to knowledge seekers. The way we transfer to universal community, as they are not here to listen, they don't understand the voice of the man, but they understand the knowledge as it's transferred across the universe to them to be equal to the others. This way, many of you as knowledge seekers will find that you understand the technology totally in a new way, and you start teaching. Make no mistake. This is our knowledge. And the more you receive through your soul to teach, become more humble. Do not take it as a point of arrogance, as at the same time you'll be taken away from, and it'll be taken from you till you learn the way we work. As we said, the taller the tree, the more it bends downwards to the earth, the more humble it becomes. And this has to be the attitude of knowledge seekers. Many of the knowledge seekers will use these teachings as the process to understand the whole and the totality of it through their soul.
And that completes those excerpts. I'm sorry for the repetition there. I thought it was the video had ended and it wasn't completed. So anyway, we reheard part of it. I think it was appropriate. It was some pretty interesting information there.
Well worth it. Thank you.
In case, I apologize for the error. Okay, back to our regular programming here. And now we have the knowledge and understanding from the 620th Knowledge Seekers Workshop.
Yes, Rick, can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Stefania.
You can hear me properly. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, yes, it was really, really nice to hear Mr. Keshe. I didn't remember this workshop, but it was nice to re-listen to it. Even the workshop of last week was very, very mind-blowing again. The 620, it's very connected to what Mr. Keshe just said. Oops.
I'm strong.
I don't know.
You'll bear with
I don't know
me.
what, yeah, no problem. Yes, I'm gonna try to be brief because I know that we always running late, so I'll try to be as and anyway, I'm sure Marco, Maranès, they can add more stuff to it. I'm just gonna talk about what really for me was very important about this workshop. So Mr. Keshe in this workshop really go in details and give us the reason why we don't need to die. We don't need to leave our body behind. He started with like a story from a poet about the phoenix, and he make this metaphor to explain. He thought this man understood what happened in transmutation. And in the first part of the workshop, I really recommend you to go and listen and re-listen, because as I said, Mr. Keshe, he started by talking about the story of the phoenix and how this phoenix, how this bird burns, and then from the ashes it starts a new cycle. And this was like a metaphor to explain the transmutation. But it's very important because here he's going to explain what actually happened at the point of death. And he said that it's really important to understand what happened at the point of death. And us as a knowledge seeker, we should know by now what to do in that moment. What to do in that moment to do not leave our body behind. And therefore, he's keeping repeating, we don't need to die. We die just because of our lack of understanding. And then he creates a scenarios where explain what happened if you leave your body behind, and what happened, what you should do to be able to not to leave your body behind. So if you leave your body behind, he's saying that more or less this obviously it's my understanding. This is what I understood. You can go in and re-listen and make your own conclusion. So for what I understood, he said very clearly that yes, at the point of death, because we leave our body behind and our soul is going to start, they call him this journey of fancy, or this travel of fancy. I can't remember. I remember now exactly the word. He's saying that is not. You may manifest, because it all will depend at that point what you do done in this life. That's why the content of your life here is very important, because whatever you done now in the life today, and that will decide at the point of death how much magnetic and gravitational fields you have acquired, and then you're gonna manifest in between the balance of these 2 points, and that will give you your new location in the universe. But he said also that we knowledge seeker, we need to understand what actually decided point of death, like in the metaphor, what decide part of you become energy and part of you become part of this ash. So the ash is like the body you're leaving behind. What decide how much of you become one and how much of you become the other. So this is very important to know, because he's saying that we as a knowledge seeker, we can easily be able to never become the ashes. So we can easily, if we understand and we have the full understanding of this knowledge, so we don't need to leave our body behind. Yes, because he say also that let's say you leave your body behind, if you didn't have a good conduct. That's why, we're elevating the leaders, because I don't want to be in the place of someone who commit lots of crimes, because then that will count at the point of death, because he said if you can be in a situation where you would not you have not make the right, I don't know, behavior or conduct, and therefore you will not be able to materialize in nothing, because there is not enough of you to be able to materialize. So you're just gonna be like lost and because you didn't create a condition or to manifest, and you're looking for a place, but I don't know if you will be able to manifest. So that's why, as people understand this knowledge, the knowledge of the universe, slowly, they will not want to make any misconduct, because they know that that whatever they're doing here will compromise the next step. Yes, so please going to read the first part. I see if I got anything else to add. Okay. Yes, something very important. It's this emotion and feelings. So he said that we have to understand to be able to don't take our body with us, don't leave it behind. We really understand what emotion are and what feelings are, and how can we separate the two, and how can we put one inside the other to be able to transmute. So this is very, very important. And what else I wanted to say? Also the calcium. So it's another thing's important, but I'm not really good in these things. Maybe Mushfaq can help us later. But it's about, he said, for example, if we knew how to create the inertia of the calcium, because he said the body that we're leaving behind, pretty much there are all the cells that are connected with calcium. And he said if we can replicate the inertia of the calcium, that also is a way to make sure our body come with us and will not leave it behind. Yes, and on this, I actually, in the second part, I make this question because for me it was very important to really understand the differences between feeling and emotion, the difference between emotion and feeling. And in the second part, just after the break, he will answer this question. And even the answer of this question, I find it very, very important, and it's very connected to the first part, because in the first part, he really stressed us to really understand this difference between the feelings and the emotion. It was very interesting because he said that the emotion, sorry, the feelings can be but to understand where they come from, what causing them. A lot of time is connected with physicality, like can be cold, can be touch, can be, and so we need to understand what they are, because they will then create emotion. And then one emotion will, one feeling will create another emotion, another emotion. And before we know, we can find ourselves in a situation where we don't want to live again. And then this can cause us illness, like a cancer. So I make an example of this young lady that she understood after being helped by Mr. Keshe on her condition, she understood the importance of the difference between the feelings and emotion, and she managed to restore health on herself. And now she become very successful because she turned everything around. Once you understand the difference between feelings and emotion, and you know how to. They're little bit like dogs without leads, and you have to learn how to control them in such a way that you can get out the best of it, the best of the outcome you want, and not be a slave of them. So we have to learn how to be in control, so we can use them as a tool for transmute or for do whatever we want in this life. So and live in much better way, because when we are don't understand this lack of understanding between the feeling and emotion, a lot of time is a cause of many problems and illness, and even the reason why we cannot transmute. So it's very, very important to go through and read about this. Okay, then these are the things I remember. I remember obviously the graphic of Mitra. This is another thing stood up in my mind, that it was very unique, of the 6th of the meeting of the 6th of December. Yes, so I don't know if Mark wants to add anything else that he remember about the 620. I'm sure, there are lots of stuff that I didn't mention. Or Maranes, if
Yeah,
Maranes
let's see if anyone else wants to add. That was quite comprehensive, Stefania. Thank you. Although there's so much more, as we understand. Anyone else?
I would like to add a few things. Someone else? Mehran, go ahead. I'll do it after you.
No, please go ahead. I know what I want to say. Maybe you forget.
Okay. All right. So the Stefania talked about the phoenix, the bird that rises from ashes, or we could call it the physicality. So the story of the phoenix is based on the work that Mr. Keshe mentioned, the Conference of the Birds by Fariduddin Attar. It's classic in Persian literature. The author is believed to be a Sufi mystic. It's an amazing story of a journey of birds to track their souls, and it was a arduous journey for these birds and all, and then some stayed behind, and then 30 birds, reached their destination and saw their reflection in a pool of water in a lake. And so the creator, in a way, the creator is a reflection of the attributes, these 30 attributes, which again, 30 birds. It relates to the 99 names of God that is also used by the Sufi mystics, as well as known in some esoteric religious activities in Islam. So this is the story of the feeling associated with the 99 attributes of the Creator, which is believed to lead us to the 100th name of God, which again we know is the soul of man. So that's a way of understanding of the soul, and the part of leaving behind. Some of the bird weren't able to make it. That's the ashes part of the story. Those who could not relate to this effort of reaching the source they left behind. They were left behind, and it's the physicality, the ashes of the bird. But now the time is such that all of us make it. all of us make it towards the goal of connecting with our soul, where the Creator has been there all along. And this is something that that is an amazing part that we haven't quite come to grips with. But with the teaching of the foundation, to the soul level teaching, we are directly beginning to perceive things as we don't have to struggle the way, let's say, we struggle with physicality. As we learn to transfer or interact with the soul of physicality and soul of man, then call it the love between we can call it the love between the two. The love of the Creator with the creation. And then when the love becomes coherent enough, then we're in a position to not leave behind our body as ashes and take the whole of it, the whole community of birds or the whole community of humanity along with it. That's a very deep teaching in the sense that, this is a famous story, and part of the it's well known. It's a well-known part of Persian literature. Mehnaz obviously knows a lot more. She knows the language, so perhaps we have a lot more to add to it. But I have read the story in English, of course. But it's an amazing story. But within the words of the story, be it in English or Farsi, there is the message of the soul and its relation, love, of the creation or the physicality, soul physicality. These are the essence of it that we can bring in through our soul level understanding, not necessarily have to struggle like the physicality. And this is the new horizon. This is the new way of doing it, where we not only it gets easier, it also gets and the struggle is no longer the way it used to be. So, and we all make it. Isn't that a wonderful possibility? Thank you very much. Let's go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Very nice. I also think that was another way of explaining creation by Mr. Keshe, that he talks about this Iranian Farsi poet, philosopher, which in poetry, they talk about their philosophy. Also, we have another poet, very famous, Maulana, Mowlana, which was also poet, philosopher 700 years ago, which they say that the soul for them, that we our essence are we are the birds coming from another place, another higher level place, and we are encaged in this world. And then in poetry says that since I have been in this cage, so etc. etc. So they talk about birds like they talk about soul, which is the essence of the man, and then the body covers it. So he talks about this symbolic bird, which is not found in the universe. Beautiful bird. The name is Seymour. Seymour. More is bird. C is 30. I don't know, but it's called Seymour. And then he says that this bird is, there's, from its ashes, it gets life again, leaves after that. And then he says, this ash is like our physical body. That's how I understood it. And then when the body is gone, for example, the soul goes. And it's like we have a pot, boiling pot, which makes a lot of vapor. And then we have a window. These vapors go on this window. But nothing happened, nothing is created unless our soul gets in balance of the fields of magnetic and gravity of some part of this vapor somewhere in the whole window, up and down. And when it's in balance, magnetical gravity in the energy of that place, which is the cold outside the window, this becomes a drop. In fact, this drop is the same thing as vapor, as that drop which was in the pot, boiling pot. So that creates the drop, and that drop can be me, can be anything, can be a dog or whatever. So when I was listening to Stefani and others, I just thought how shallow it is that this arrogant human being, because he's more knowledgeable in some of things of this world, or richer, or from a good family, thinks he's different from the other one who has less money, or he was poor, or another race, another country. How shallow it is when the whole creation is the same by anybody, by any dog and cat. It's all in the whole universe. When the magnetic gravity balances with the inertia of the place, that becomes a soul. And the soul creates the body around it. So that was very nice that I remember. And then there were different things about other things, but especially this one, I found it very interesting and useful for me. Yeah, thank you.
And I'll just jump around and cover a few points, as Mr. Keshe usually does in these workshops. He takes us across the universe and then back again on the planet. So this is why we understand there'll be much opened up in the future. But as was said, and as was again confirmed, we're all that phoenix. We're all that ashes, and all the created entities across the universe have the capability to resurrect themselves and to not litter. There's some beautiful teachings on littering. I think we'll have to look those up and review those again. But again, he spoke a few sentences on the 3I, confirming it's biological. It definitely is interacting, changing shape, changing speeds, and the rest. We'll see huge energies released around the 19th. Of course, as he said, man is concerned with the rays of the sun, where the Keshe Foundation is really working with the rays of the universe. And of course, he mentioned problem with the knowledge seekers. One of the things is fear. I think he mentioned that about 47 times. Not that having fear is a problem, but when it becomes a phobia, this is definitely a problem. And of course, he talked about the cosmic ray antennas, that you'll need no Wi-Fi on the One Nation network, and also the ability for the One Nation network to power itself will be seen and demonstrated as well. He talked about fire suppression. Somebody raised a question about that. And apparently there was some work in the past, and he said you can do it if you understand how to convert the oxygen into carbon, I believe. But maybe we can explore that at another time. And of course, we saw the soul pictures of Mitra's daughter's birthday party, which of course we all were touched in a way, and that was confirmed in the charts. But he did say, again, fear is holding us back. He asked if Moses was real, and apparently there's not a lot of evidence to support the actual reality of Moses. And then, of course, read the beautiful books of the Confession of the Birds, which I started with the introduction. Very interesting. Of course, the poet is comparing the birds to humanity, and some birds let other birds out of the cage, and then they decide to take a trip to see this magnificent king or something like that. And of course, all the birds make the excuses of why they can't go, or the sparrow is too fearful, and the nightingale apparently is working in the court system for the king, and he'd have to lose that position. But anyway, they all travel over the 7 valleys, over these mountain peaks, and end up finally getting into this courtyard. Not all of them made it, though, and they find out that the king they're looking for is actually themselves. They see that reflection of themselves, as was mentioned. So this is maybe you can, Rick, I sent you that was shared by one of our knowledge seekers in Kenya. Maybe you want to put that in the chat, the link, so people can, Mr. Keshe didn't just say it coincidentally, but again, it shows that work of the phoenix, so to speak. And then, of course, one of the bigger questions, he said, does the creator go through the same cycle of this separation and taking things with him as the man does? I made the man in the image of myself. Stefania highlighted this question on emotion and feelings, which he said are both the same, but then later went on to say the feelings are more of the physicality and the emotions are the reaction to that, so on and so forth. And he said one of the reasons we're all doing this is because of the space programs, and many astronauts have certain conditions that we don't always see in the public, but these lights and these fields, again, he said, we're a soft target. Man is a soft target for this sort of interaction of these fields. And of course, he said our ignorance in space is a problem as well. He talked about releasing liquid, the viruses, again, not a virus of contamination, but a virus in a way, to drain other viruses. And again, delivering it through the One Nation network, or perhaps we'll see some of these things like the Cup of Life 1 or 2. He mentioned, again, bringing people into the Keshe Foundation, or partnering with other people and their products and their inventions, to see if you want to add a new dimension of the plasma technology into your current, or perhaps something you're creating. Again, we saw the graph of the daughter of Mitra, which hopefully we all had a very good time with, and we'll see more of the work. And I've mentioned about the fear is healthy as long as it doesn't turn into, again, some sort of phobia, I would say. Then he talked again more about teaching yourself. I think he mentioned this quite a bit as well. The uvula, which is this small tongue, and the energy it can create. And there are some techniques in using this little dangling thing at the back of your throat. But again, if you're not comfortable or understand what it can do, you should avoid it, because it can end you up in the unknown. But also on the 19th, as I said earlier, we're going to receive a huge amount of energy. And he asked the question, would some of us die, or would some of us change? So again, there's a lot coming up, and this Friday is the 19th. So we'll start to see the onset of this entire process, and many, many more things were covered in that workshop. And then, of course, we came back into ourselves by the end. So that's what I wanted to add, if anyone else would like to share more. And there's much more to, again, understand exactly how Mr. Keshe is transferring this knowledge to us. Thank you, Rick. I see that the link is in there, the Conference of the Birds. Very interesting. Yes. I learned a little bit about Sufism, I guess. And again, this poet may not even have been a Sufi, as he couldn't confirm, but he did write and he did investigate others. And of course, by releasing secret knowledge, he became, in a way, sort of targeted. Some of these groups don't like secret knowledge or esoteric knowledge, as they put it, shared with the unindoctrinated, let's say. So there, he realized probably the cost of sharing this knowledge publicly to the, let's say, unwashed. But it's all about the souls. As you said, the birds are just a representation of humanity and the energies of the soul. So it's a beautiful reading, and we need to go through it at least more than once.
We'll have a look at that in the Keshe Plasma Reactor group coming up tomorrow in European time.
Also known as the Conference of the Birds.
Yes. And yeah, I was introduced to that document, and we read it as a group some 45 years ago. So it's a very eternal, sacred in that way, eternal sort of document, eternal
like timeless
teaching. Yes, as many of the Sufi stories are the Sufi tales, and the humor and the wit comes through, as well as the soul part of it, which is what it's all about. Thank you for bringing that up, Mark. It's a great link. It shows the whole contents of the book, essentially, but gives people should have a look at it. It's good. It gives a description of the author and so on as well. Okay, let's progress here, I suppose. Let's see.
And of course, just to add, Mr. Keshe has recommended reading the 7 Valleys, and they reference that, I think, in this document about flying over the mountain peaks of these 7 valleys. But again, confusion into enlightenment, let's say. And this is another one of these timeless, perhaps, readings.
Well, speaking of timeless, we have a short excerpt from the 620th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. That's the last one, about transmutation. And it's only 5 minutes or so, so let's have a listen to that.
Go back to the teaching of some time ago, where I showed you how you hold your hand to create that light. Now that your knowledge has reached the point, put that hand together again and see if you can create that light. Share emotion with that light and watch the creation of the ashes. If you understood that emotion of how to transfer energy of the light into the ash in your hand, or the dust in your hand, or the gold in your hand, you have then learned how to transmute. And the key word is not I want. It will be a pleasure to see that I can give. Then, if you understood that, you transfer that energy, because now you practice it, how to transfer that light into matter. You do that with your own soul, but with the dimension of emotion, with a detachment to be attached to the physicality, but for it to be a guest for me to carry the beauty. I made man in the image of myself, in every shape, dimension, and direction and emotion. and there is no exclusivity. Every living thing in the universe has all the attributes of the Creator. It is the man who decides which suits him and which is the dimension that he wants to live in. He wants to manifest himself in. Jealousy, darkness, evilness, happiness, fairness. It's all a decision which the man makes. And if you can make that decision in the dimension of the emotion, you can make a decision on the emotional transmutation. And many have done because they understood the field strength of. They understood in a way what is needed to be done. They understood the concept of plasma, they understood the concept of matter state, they understood the concept of emotion, they understand the dimension of time. Now, if you go over all the teachings of past, especially 6 months, 12 months, and understood what I said today, there is no reason for you not to be able to transmute. There is one factor which sits in the subconscious of the physicality of the man, and is called fear. And that's the only thing, as I've said before, which is holding you back. That fear energy does not allow the inertial magnetic field, the strength, to be created within the inside of the soul of the man in the dimension of energy, that it can manifest itself anywhere in another dimension. But your biggest problem is not that fear of going back. Once you become the dimension of energy, the same fear exists. What happened? I enjoyed the beauty of the universe without physicality. If I go back to the dimension of physicality and I get imprisoned by the physicality of the man, like in the brain of the man, as we know, then man has to understand the fear exists on both direction and dimension. And it's not exclusivity of the present time. Trust in yourself. Trust in being able to manifest this dimension of physicality. It's part of the structure you have to teach yourself. In a way, we've seen that in the world of man many times. Concentration of the energy that the body goes through a pre-transmutation, but due not understanding the process, man will go backwards into the dimension of coming back to be in the dimension of physicality. You have to understand how to transfer that energy, and you have to understand how to direct it dimensionally to be in that world.
All right, that's our tempting tidbit, you could say, from the 620th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. Some very interesting information from Mr. Keshe. Okay, let's get back to my presentation here. And now it's time for transmutation with Mashfaq.
Hello, everyone. This is Mashfaq again, representing Bengali language as a Universal Council support member. So it's interesting, you know, we have today not 30 birds, but 29 birds. So that should do. Ready to transmute. It's just so funny. I mean, I looked at this number and said, I wish we had one more. But in any case, so
Perhaps one more is the soul.
yeah, okay, that's good, Rick. I like that. We didn't count the obvious one, of course. we had too focused on physical.
And it's always ignored. That's right. Thank you for bringing it to our attention.
So there we go. We have 30. So we are ready to do it then. Well, no question about that. This transmutation and the calcium factor, the part that we have the notion that we have the fear that can we retract the physicality, and again, as Mr. Keshe said, coming back to physicality and getting imprisoned by it. It's odd, if you think about it, if we can do it, and if we go back again, do we forget that we can do it? This is something that, we have already done it in coming to this planet. It's not that we haven't done it, it's just we have to bring back the trust in us to do it. So how do we bring back this trust? So let's get back to the picture of the gold. So I'll share the picture of the gold to give you the context. Some patterns that we may recognize. So I will do the sharing. Let's see. So you have seen this already. I'm just going to bring it back to give it a context. So you can see this is the pattern of gold. And we talked about standing wave or patterns that are fixed because of the arrangement of the reflection or the slowing down of the pattern and the reflection of the patterns. So let's examine this a little bit. We talked about these circular waves last time, but these black spots, the main black spots that you see are the atoms of gold. Now, if you look at like north, let's say it's the northwest corner, you can northeast corner. Well, let's see, how do you know when you go north? If you look at north, it's northwest corner. You see an atom, but then you see another one in the middle. The thing is that when you have two fields like that, you have the interaction of the two fields, and that in the midpoint there is a point of intersection. And you see this in the image, a smaller black spot. And then it's the secondary field, which is a result of the two fields, two stronger fields interacting with each other. And it keeps going. And this is how in Gans boxes we have the situation of a number of fields, of which, let's say in carbon dioxide box, carbon was the original field, and then that field led to other interaction with other elements in the box, and it created a number of GANs. And so this was detected by the spectroscopy of the GAN solution. So these are kind of like the reflection and the interaction of fields. So we have to create some primary fields of the atoms, gold. And the rest of it comes into play by arranging these gold patterns at the correct distance. And the rest of the pattern unfolds. So you have to have a few of these basic fields in place. And, you know, in more complicated situation, you have more complicated interaction, like cup 1 is an example of that. So compounds, think of cup 1 compound, not just one gold structure. So having seen these kind of patterns with this method called field microscopy, I mean, we don't generally carry a microscopy techniques. We don't know of them, and we don't usually carry one with us. So how do we recognize these fields of gold and iron and other material? Yeah, we can see the texture as well. But there is one interesting way we can see, which is when we touch them, we feel them. The feeling, the sensation. When we touch the metal surface, whether in this case, let's say gold, we feel it. Our hand is not really touching the gold. We are interacting with the field on the surface of the gold plate. So it's the feeling that the sensation that it's gold, not iron, is feeling. It's not something we are seeing here. It's an emotion, the physical level. But can we sense the details of it? We do, because the feeling is the complete expression of this picture that we are seeing. It's our built-in microscope. So this is something we forget, that we have it with us. We don't have to learn it. It's there. We have to recognize it. And once we recognize that we can create fields of this material, we can create it. And this building of the trust requires this recognition that our hands are quite capable. It's not just the hand, it's the internal fields we generate. The calcium factor that Mr. Keshe mentioned in the last knowledge seeker workshop, that's the seed. There are a few seed fields we need to put in place. You know, copper for the muscular structure, calcium for our basic structure of the bones and even at the cellular level. So as we bring in these several key factors in, we can reconstruct. The other details, as is often obvious to us when we look at details of our body, they come in place as a result of bringing the key factors or emotion in place. So some of us may be adept in recognizing a part of this picture, sense a part of the picture, but the rest of it comes with it. So we may start with the small details somewhere. Some may get the square structure or the diamond structure that you see here, or the square structure here in 2 dimension. So this kind of recognition, we are all sensitive in different ways, but we can start wherever we are, knowing that the rest of the feeling falls in place. And this is the trust we have to build by doing little things, correcting little change, not correcting, but making little changes. Let's say making the light within our hands. That's an example of it. But can we do with our body, our skin, our appreciation for things that's there? Can we sense, let's say, the beauty of some parts of our body? Or can we make the beauty of that part of the body even better? These are emotions that we can play with. So emotions are there always. We sometimes get too caught up in the noise. Feel our appreciation for these emotions. We just have to come to the point where we are in love with the creation, the physicality, the soul of the physicality, the beauty of gold, the beauty of iron. Doesn't matter. And we have it already. It's not that we have to. Why do we worry about not being able to bring it back? It's part of us. We don't have to worry about either of this. Some people may say, some school of thoughts try to inject fear, but why? The feelings that we carry, the love for the creation that is part of our journey of the soul and the physicality. So the emotions are there. I gave some hints about how to start navigating. We each navigate in our own way, in our own unique way. Does it matter that my neighbor is doing it in a different way and I'm doing it in a different way? We all get there to the source, like the 30 birds. And this whole picture has a lot of details. Each of these are a reflection of one of us. So let's feel the image and create the whole thing. Whether it's a piece of gold medal or whether it's our own body on planet Earth or elsewhere. It is ours to love and enjoy and appreciate the creator in our own creation. What a wonderful opportunity, isn't it? Thank you very much. I will end there. If there is any question or comments and other extension of thoughts, I welcome you to participate here. Thank you. I will leave the image up for now, but in the end, I'll take it off once we end this part. Okay, okay, go ahead.
Yes, my dear Mashwik, beautiful images of gold, of iron, how the energy works in a way. So we in India we say, "Aapka to sone jaisa dil hai." Well, they talk it about you have this golden heart, and because mm, iron is mostly associated with the physical form, more intense. Gold is like we can see it here, like interdimension. Even it is appear solid in a solid state, but it is also like we can see that it is like it can transmute, it can uh, it can convert very easily. So even as you said, as the goal within all of us, all souls, all physical bodies, we can create this beauty of understanding more. As well, of course, we all know that gold is always used and in manufacture of spaceships, spacecraft, and even golden cities. So there is because this is a kind of energy that uh, that, take you to this form that there is no pain, no struggle, no um, no hatred, no nothing. If there is always gold there will be peace. Kind of that, Even we can appreciate the golden uh, thought, the gold, the understanding, the emotion of gold inside us. So much easy, so much simple to understand. As in ancient India, we have this depiction all over the world. We have this depiction of gods and goddesses. They do that and with all these gold. But actually, if we say this symbolic way to understand how the beauty has created within, from within, there was no there was no factories or things like that to produce golden bangles out then. Yeah, in space. But then the gold, the iron changed into gold, and the gold changed all everything, every soul. So the few golds we see, if there is a golden rain, so so much peaceful, I will say. But thank you. The beauty you told is so much in depth, intense, and very simple to understand. Thank you so much. Thank you, my dear Moshfik. Thank
Speaking of simple to understand and easier or reminding factor for people's own experience, as Stephen in the YouTube mentions, first he says boiling hot dogs and didn't know what he was talking about, but then he explains, he says, basically, one time I was boiling hot dogs in a shaky and wobbling pot. At first it formed rings, and then it formed stars on the water. And that's, I think the images reminded him of that. And that is essentially the way cymatics works. And cymatics has interactions of waves as its main thing. And it produces various patterns in liquids or other substances. And I think it's all associated with the very creation of matter, what we think is matter, which is actually an interaction of fields.
Yes, sir. You can see also when the sunlight uh, or a ray of the sun uh, falls on a bowl of water. I have seen this on a bowl of water. In the roof, you can see the images, and you can see these cymatics. Like it moves. And I have said in the bowl of water that I love you, and the cymatic changed. Like it changed like a flower, like all here we can see these cymatics also here in these images Moshfek posted. So beautiful indeed, Rick. Thank you, thank you, Steven, my dear. Thank you so much.
Okay, anything else with Moshfek's presentation, or anybody else like to say anything?
Okay, I'll stop sharing. Rick, you can go back to your presentation.
Okay, thank you. Again, perhaps we can take that to another level in the plasma reactor group as well.
Maybe MOSFET can change the color of it to gold and it'd be more enticing.
Yes, my dear Mark, that will be beautiful. Yes, indeed, indeed. Thank you. Thank you. Needs and wishes, my dear beautiful souls. And before the needs and wishes, is there any more interaction or any question, or as we are all knowledge seekers learning, um, most welcome. Welcome to share, to talk.
We do.
Thank
We do have a few things. There's a couple of questions in the Q&A from Guillaume. Can you give the link of Telegram? And I answered in the Q&A, the Telegram groups are mostly arranged by language. What is your preferred language? I didn't get a response back on that, but some of the links are hard to get from the groups, but there are, even in the English groups, there's several different English groups. There's, for example, the Keshe One World Family. There's the Keshe UK Knowledge Team. There's the Keshe English Discussion Group. There's the Keshe One Cup, One Life, and the Keshe American Knowledge Team, which are all English. And then there's others such as Russian and Australian and Italian and so on.
He says he is French. Is there any French group?
I'm sure there must be, but I don't have a link to the French group. I haven't been posting there.
We will, my dear, we will ask after this meeting, and maybe we can suggest you in the next One Planet, One Race. That will be very preferable, if you say. Thank you for asking. Thank you.
And of course, Rick, if Joel comes into the Reactor group, perhaps he can direct us.
I know there's Facebook groups for French. There's a couple of those. That might be another way, but Telegram's the best way for communications. So there's a second question from Guillaume. Marinez, what is the name of that author again? And I took it off of what Mark had sent me about with the Conference of the Birds, and it's Farid Attar is the author of the Conference of the Birds.
Yes, I confirm.
Thank you. Let me see what else here. Going to YouTube. Question from Tender. When we were showing the first video of the graphic, and perhaps I can show that so we know what we're talking about here. She had a question. What or who do we see on that graphic chair? She calls it a chair. It's the lines that Mr. Keshe
I just
find it again where I did it.
I think it could be somewhere around 206, maybe a little before.
Well, it's
I mean, at the knowledge workshop.
Oh, I'm going back to the original video today. I've got it lined up here now. So she would be talking about the chair, the blue line here. And what or who do we see on that graphic chair?
this is a chair for you. You see it as a chair. We can see it as a curve. We can see it as a triad or anything like that, And it is the uh, collective uh, soul communication at that time when we all were indulged, we all were intensely deep in the celebration of birthday of daughter of Mitra. So this is how it is our ability to understand what is the chair, what is, if you see it as a chair, it's a chair, it's a curve, it's a ascension line, or you can elevation line, you can say it like that. So it is upon our ability to understand how we perceive things, how we understand things, how we understand conditions. This is the emotion we have to create. This is uh, the physical personality. There is, you can see there was a personality physical. Even we were talking about daughter of Mitra's birthday, but there is a soul that is indulged, that is intensely deep feeling emotionally, celebrating the birthday of Mitra. So beautiful. So you can understand in your way, because it is only uh, you can see in the graphics the emotion at that time, the emotion, deep emotion, and connecting then alignment of the soul to the personality you are. Even we are in depth in the soul connection at that time. We were. So if you say it's a chair, it's a chair. If you say it's a curve, you are going through it, then it's a curve. And if you say it's going to be a triad to connect the upper and the lower, then it can be like that. So it is according to our ability to understand these graphics. As we say, it's, well, it's hard sometimes, but it is what it is. So this is how it works. Like,
Can I
yes,
add something to
yes,
what you said? If I understood Mia well, the part the from starting from down to the legs of the chair is our physicality, and the place where we sit is our soul of physicality and collective soul, and the back of the chair is the line from up to down, which is the soul of Mitra, which came down to the soul of other people. That line was connection to the soul of Mitra, where she was present. That's how I understood it. And aligned all other souls, which is where we sit on the chair. And down is the legs are the physicality of the human being, our physicalities.
Which you come back to at the end of the program, basically, right? Is that the way it kind of goes? Like Mr. Keshe made the distinction that normally the red would show up, that people are in the pretty heavy into the physicality, the soul physicality, and then gradually work their way up into more of the soul level and so on. It's a different graph normally. But for the event of the 6th of the celebration of the daughter of Mithra's birthday, yes, it started out at a very high level and stayed at that soul level through the whole program. Mr. Keshe was kind of amazed that he said something. it looks like you had fun with that, in the sense of being with Mithra. So yeah, it's interesting. So it does look like a chair, but it has meaning behind it. And Mr. Keshe has explained the different meanings behind the actual graphs that we see, and the dot diagrams and so on, through many of the probably the last few months anyways of workshops at various times that he's shown the actual graphs and explain them. Still a bit of a mystery as to how some of the dots show up, but it's you get the gist of it for sure.
If I may add a little bit to this, this particular one that we see here, the dots that are there are not as clear. Usually in other diagrams that we have seen in the past, the dots are more clear, but the dots are the field strengths of various aspects of soul physicality. We don't see it very clearly, so Mr. Keshe is connecting because where these dots, but from his, wherever he's watching this, it's much you can see it clearly if you magnify a lot, but without magnification you may miss some of it's hard to see some, especially the physicality side and the soul of physicality side. So we have seen these kind of pictures before, so we can kind of follow it. We can follow it much easier, but for those who are not familiar with these diagrams, this is the context that not as clear in this picture. So, and when you connect these lines, you have this chair type of pattern. But it's you have to get used to it a little bit. But for those who are new to it, I'm just adding this part.
Well, Tender had further mentioned after she said, "What or who do we see in that graphic chair?" and answered to herself, "And Mithra's daughter, or Mithra, quite enlightened, especially from head to toe." Or what do you read into the graph? And
Yes, you are right. Mitra's daughter, enlightened from head to toe.
yeah,
That is
essentially that's what we're seeing. So everybody has a different
beautiful.
way of interpreting those
Yes.
lines and graph, but you get the gist. You get the we grok it.
Thank you.
Okay, perhaps we can go back again, once again, to our program. And
Yes.
it's the time
Yes,
of needs and wishes. Now, to remind
yes,
our
needs.
audience, we'll have 30 seconds of silence after each of the needs and wishes.
Yes. Thank you, my dear. We, the Universal Council, give to our souls that Russia and Ukraine can find peace for the sake of all the families of the planet. Our wish is our command. We are present.
We, the Universal Council, give from our soul for protection of those living in fear in natural disaster areas, and our soul wish to help cover all emotional and psychical needs.
We, the Universal Council, elevate the souls of the leaders involved in conflicts in Sudan and other areas only by greed with unconditional love and inner peace, so that they respect the lives of all population because they are sovereign and free. Our wish is our command. We are present.
Um, I think for this wish is still actual, and we really have to give from our souls, because not only they are homeless people and Idyllis, but also they have flood and wind also. So we really wish for them. The Universal Council give freely from our soul to elevate the soul of the leaders to achieve peace in the Middle East. Now,
Would any other, is it appropriate, but if any other American would like to read this wish?
I can read.
Very well.
The Universal Council elevate the soul of the leaders and the population throughout the American continent to live in harmony, respecting each nation as equal. Our wish is our call.
We are present.
Thank you, beautiful souls, beautiful, beautiful souls, always being here, present with all the peace for all living souls. Thank you. We are here to serve, not to be served. Beautiful souls. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Suswagatam into the beautiful, yes, yes, beauty and totality, beautiful energy of Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute organization. Welcome, welcome to the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy of all the universal souls we are, all souls in existence, all loving souls. Welcome to the beauty of merging with the universal community. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Suswagatam, join, love, come home. The Universal Council, salam, namaste, salute.
We invite the unifying the souls these days because it's 19 and starting in 19, maybe as a new cycle, a new era for the human rights. And welcome it again to the universal community, be part of us in equal conditions. And thank you so much all around the world for unifying your soul to be part of the soul of peace. Thank you so much. And Mitra's birthday too, celebrated.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Yes, we look forward to the return of the light next week. The 21st will be the solstice and time for a transition to longer days of light, at least in the northern hemisphere, the opposite in the southern hemisphere. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, of the members and support members of the Universal Council for presenting today's 409th One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace here on Tuesday, December 16th, 2025. And we'll be back again next week at the same time and place, and it'll be a couple of days before Christmas then, the day before Christmas Eve. So we look forward to that. And our next public teaching workshop will be the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group, which I mentioned earlier. And that starts on Wednesday, December 17th at 7 a.m. Central European Time. And it's open to members of the public who would like to discuss or show some of the plasma technology. Okay, well, is there anything else before we wrap up here? I think that's it.
Knowledge Seeker Workshop coming?
Yes, we should, of course, mention the Knowledge Seekers Workshop on Thursday. That'll be the 18th of December. And that'll be with Mr. Keshe. It starts at 9 a.m. Central European Time. And we do look forward to hearing more of the knowledge of the universe as well as the knowledge of the planet at the same time. All right. Well, I guess that's it, right, Shweta?
Yes. And an enlightened dance and clap, clap, dear beautiful soul. Being enlightened always, blessings of Ma. Clap, clap, and dance, dance. Thank you for being here.
Yes, indeed. As we come back to the physicality part of the graph, perhaps we can clap and dance our way into the new day. In any case,
tic-tac-toe.
In any case, thank you everyone for being here today, and may you have a wonderful day and a great life. Bye for now.